Merry Christmas once again, wonderful humans. Welcome back to Board Game Dads. My name is Anthony,
And my name is Eric.
and we're here to talk about some Christmas games, specifically some Christmas IP games. Now, Eric,
Intellectual property
I was
games.
going to
For
say,
those of you
besides being a
who
funny
just think
combination of letters, it's
who
has a
just think
meaning.
you're being lewd.
Spell I cup.
I see you, P.
And spoiler alert, we just figured out before we started recording that all the games pretty much we're mentioning are from Funko, which goes to show you that they do some pretty good intellectual property games. So there's that.
Christmas, at least. Well,
Yes, well,
I wouldn't necessarily
others.
say that both of my games are good. They're just Christmassy.
Okay.
Yeah. They're my two games, and I assume the same with your games. They're very light,
Yes.
and they're not they're not really two-player games. They're just kind of like, oh, here's a deck of cards with some stuff, and you play 15 minutes and then you're done with the game. Like that's it. It's really quick, really easy, really light, not much going on, but it looks like Christmas and it's fun to take out and play.
Right. And around this time of year, because we're so busy with other stuff, it's it's good to have some quick options out
Uh,
there when you got to squeeze a game in.
Indeed.
So before we get into any major picks, do you want to do some honorable mentions?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask if I wanted to do some trivia questions.
Do you want to do some trivia questions?
I do.
Good
Uh,
boy.
as for an honorable mention, I really didn't have one. So I wanted to wait and see what yours was because I didn't want to piggyback and just say the same thing. But I thought of I sort of thought of one,
Okay.
and it would be Nightmare Before Christmas. Um, the Funkoverse, they have like an expansion that has like I forget which two characters, probably Sally and Jack or something. But I know they have an expansion for that.
You mean the
The Funkoverse game.
the fighting game? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Well, that's interesting. My honorable mention is also based in Nightmare Before Christmas. It's the Making Christmas
I
game, which
thought that it might be.
yeah. I briefly talked about that back in Halloween. It's an okay game. Like you said, all these games are pretty simple. That one is like kind of extra simple, and it's
Right.
not enjoyable enough that it made my major pick here.
I did have an honorable mention. I've never played this game, never even seen this game, but there is a game called A Charlie Brown Christmas. It's
Hmm.
a roll and move game. It's a kids game, and but I think you're going around, you're decorating Charlie Brown's tree, and through science, at the end of the game, you actually light up the tree. So I guess it has like working LED lights in it or something.
Ooh,
Yeah. So
cool.
all right, let me throw a couple of these at you here.
All right, let's do it.
All right. What animated made for TV classic first aired in 1965?
Charlie Brown Christmas.
That is correct. All right. What famous dancer, actor, singer narrated the 1970s stop motion classic Santa Claus is Coming to Town?
Oh, that's not Burl Ives, is it?
Is that your
No,
final answer?
no, it's not him. Darn it. All right, that's him, but it's
Fred
wrong.
Astaire.
Ah, right.
All right. What Christmas carol is sung to the tune of Greensleeves?
What child is this?
That is correct. Now, real quick, I just want to say that after the last episode of this that we did, where we had some of these trivia questions, we actually, me and my wife, and you and your wife, did a Zoom call, and we played like a trivia, like a team thing, and I had such a blast. That was one of my favorite like Christmas activities that took place this year. I
Yeah,
can't wait to do it again.
yeah. We went through a lot of questions, and it was a
Yeah,
close game too.
it was a 1 point game.
Yep. That
Oh
was
yeah,
a
that
lot of
was a
fun.
lot of fun. All right, let's move on to our first game, and I'm taking this one, right?
Yeah.
All right. This first game is called A Christmas Story, based on that wonderful Christmas movie where Ralphie and his brother who can't get up, and then all this stuff. And again, I do. I really love this movie. I'm just doing a terrible job explaining it. But this is it's called A Christmas Story, a major card game. Um, However, it's a very minor card game.
Yeah, that's a bad subtitle.
So this is a Funko Games game. It plays 3 to 6 in 15 minutes, and it's for ages 8 and up. To take that card game, and it's got a little bit of player elimination,
Mhm.
but basically you get two cards in front of each player, and then there's maybe three in the middle, and all these cards are face down. And what you're going to be doing on your turn is peeking at a card or swapping a card with somebody else, and peeking at it or peeking at somebody else's card, just so you start to know where everything is. And each time you peek at a card, you're going to put one of these little red tokens down on it just to show that you know what that card is.
Mhm.
And then if you ever know where the BB gun and the decoder ring are, the two things that Ralphie really wants in the movie, wants to get his Red Ryder BB gun, and the little orphan Annie decoder ring turns out to be an advertisement for Ovaltine. Um, Once you know where they are and it's your turn, you can say, "Oh, I know where these two cards are," and you flip them face up, and then you have to flip up the cards in front of you. And if one of the cards in front of you is one of these two bullies on the top, Scott Farkas or what's the other guy's name?
Grover Dill.
I did not know that. That would have made a good trivia question.
I don't think I knew that until I really looked at this card either, nor
Yeah,
that I realized that. So, I mean, Farkas's name spelled on this card is Scut.
Scott Farkas.
Scott. I thought it was just Scott.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. Anyway, so if you know where the BB gun is, you know where the decoder ring is, you flip up the two cards in front of you, and one of them's a bully, you lose, you're out of the game, and the rest of the people keep playing until they
Mhm.
can do the same thing and not have a bully in front of them. That's the game.
That's the whole game.
Yeah, it's
You're just moving stuff around and making some guesses. It's it's fun enough. I probably wouldn't play it more than once, like back to back, despite how short it is. Like there are many games that I will play multiple times in a row because they're short and they're over fast, and they're enjoyable enough that I want to do that. I don't know if I do that with this game, to be honest.
yeah, it's and and some of the artwork, some of the cards, I didn't even recognize some of these things. Like it's not all BB guns and decoder rings
Yeah,
and stuff that you remember from the movie and leg lamps. The leg lamp miniature, I gotta admit, is really cool looking. But it's there's a couple cards in there where you're like, what? I don't remember that from the movie.
yeah. I don't know how specific they got with some of these. I think some of them were just filler. Obviously, there's some iconic ones here. The bunny,
Yeah,
the bunny suit, and bar soap and stuff like that. But then there was like a fruit basket or like some like just random other kitchen type thing that I
yeah.
think they just had to fill in some artwork. All right, my first pick here is another very popular Christmas movie, one of my favorites, starring Will Ferrell as Elf, Buddy the Elf to be specific. And this is Elf Journey from the North Pole, another Funko game. This one is taking place on a pretty decent sized board here, which has all the iconic sights from the movie, starting from the North Pole, and you've got the candy cane forest and the gumdrop land and all that stuff.
The sea of swirly twirly gumdrops.
There, yes, thank you for being specific. And essentially, in this game, everybody is controlling Buddy the Elf. There's a little Buddy marker, and you're going to be playing down these really, unfortunately, very tiny path cards. Now, they're really small, which kind of stinks, but I get it, right? Because you're going to be putting a lot of them down on the board. So having to be much larger than that would get a little bit too crowded. As it is, though, there's many times that your path is going to kind of loop around or cross over a previously played path card. He's just taking these really roundabout, out of the way directions to get from one place to another. The reason that is for, though, you're going to be going to these different places because before the game starts, you're going to get one of these goal cards here in the bottom left that show you three places you're trying to get Buddy to visit. And as you visit those places, they're going to be removed from the board and put into some scoring sections around the outside. So when the game is over, everyone will reveal their goal cards and say, okay, the world's best cup of coffee was the highest scoring one. Anybody who has that gets 3 points. You had it in first, this one second, third, etc. That's all the places are out, and somebody gets Buddy back to the all the way to New York City. Basically, that's it. There's a couple of other spots on the board that do some kind of random stuff. There's like a hot chocolate spot that lets you place, I think, an extra path card. There's some random gingerbread tokens that just give you, I think, like one, two, or three bonus points that are just kind of secret until the end of the game. I will say the board is pretty cool. I do like the artwork, and a small detail that I do love when people do this, when designers do this, the back makes a snowflake. So you
Hmm.
turn the board over, you got a snowflake. Nice little touch there. Not super strategic, obviously,
Right. Right.
but enough fun where you're going to be interacting with people, being like, "Oh, stop making the path go left. I'm trying to get over here to to this particular token," kind of thing. So it definitely leads to some good interaction, some fun conversation, and yeah,
How
it's a
many
hoot.
how many players is that?
This one goes up to four,
Okay,
I
but two,
believe.
2 to 4.
Yeah,
Nice. That looks. I mean, the box looks terrible. That stupid triangle. But
awful.
the game itself looks a lot more interesting than I thought it was going to be.
I mean, this it's not the worst in that it still at least fits on a shelf, but when you're looking at it head on, you're going to see this slanted instead of a
Terrible.
straight thing. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's terrible.
Ages 8 and up, 20 minutes, and real quick, I will show you the Buddy the Elf mover because I don't think I took a picture of him. Classic, classic me.
While you're doing that, I got a couple trivia questions for you.
Okay.
All right. Who hosted the most Christmas specials? Perry Como, Bob Hope, or Bing Crosby?
I'm gonna say Bob Hope only because I know he did so many shows for like the troops.
It was Perry Como.
Mm.
I would have guessed Bob Hope as well. All right. What do you got? What are you showing us here?
Here's Buddy.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yep, so that's my first pick. All right, you got a couple more questions?
I do. All right. Let's see here. We got is the tradition of hiding a pickle ornament on a Christmas tree originally American or German?
I'm gonna guess German. They love
I would have
pickles.
guessed that too, but it's American.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
What was grandma drinking when she got run over by a reindeer?
Too much eggnog.
That's right. All right. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with what?
With every Christmas card I write.
That is correct.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, one more, and then we're going to get into some more games. Okay. How many gifts would you have if you received all the presents
God.
from the 12 days of Christmas? No calculators.
No calculator. Oh man. I was told there would be no math.
Well, then just guess.
Oh my god. I don't know. 47.
364.
Awful.
Yeah, pretty awful. All right. So what's the next game here? We saw a preview of it before, right?
Hang on. You telling me that 12 plus 11 plus 10, 9, 8 is equal to 300 something?
No, I'm telling you 12 plus 12. Well, I'm telling you 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3
Uh,
plus 4 plus 5, all the way up to 12 is 364 days.
Ludicrous.
Indeed.
All right. What's your next game?
All right. So the next game is a Chippendale Christmas Treasures game. And this is,
Ooh.
again, another Funko game. Uh, Personally, the the Disney special Pluto's Christmas, only maybe like 10-15 minutes long,
Hmm.
is one of my absolute favorite Christmas specials of all time. I love just the very short scene where like the chipmunks are just kind of hanging out inside the Christmas tree and how it looks like like with all the trees and the decorations and the lights living there and looking out. That has intrigued me since I was a child,
Oh yeah.
and it's really cool.
I'm with you. I wanted to be in that tree.
Me too.
Yeah.
So this game, has cards that make you look like you're in the tree. That's it. That's all the flavor it has. It's got maybe like 6 or 7 different cards of different artwork. And anyway, so you're gonna put them. If you can go back, sorry about that. You're gonna put them in this tree formation so that there's 6 cards out, and then on your turn, you're gonna flip over however many you want. But once you flip over a card, there could be a Pluto symbol in the
Mm.
top left corner or something. You can go to the next one. Yeah, like a little Pluto face. And if 3 of them are out, then you can only take one of the cards. So it's a set collection game where you want to get, you know, Chip holding a candy cane, and then you want to get Dale holding a candy cane. Boom, those two give you 3 points. Or you want to get like 5 different popcorn strands, or 3 different popcorn strands, and that gives you 5 points. And that's what you're going to do. You don't want to show all the cards because then, the other players know what cards are going to be out there, which ones maybe to avoid, and that's it. You play through these 6 different events. Each one's going to do something a little bit different, and change a tiny little thing for the round.
Okay.
And then by the end of the game, after the 6th event, everybody takes their turn, and then you count up your points.
Hmm.
And it's cute. It plays with two. I wouldn't say it plays well with two, but it's cute. We love the artwork. We love the chipmunks in the Christmas tree, and that's where this game is focused. It's the chipmunks in the Christmas tree,
Right.
and so we're going to get it to the table every year. This is going to be a new Christmas favorite of ours.
Nice. Are there only 6 events total, or is there
Only six
extras?
events, and they're going to be the same every time you play the game.
Okay.
Um, but that's it. It's. Let me look at these 2 cards. It's, I guess, a little bit memory, and then some of the events might change some of the cards in the middle, and things like, yeah. It's fun. It's cute. It's not. It's very, very light. You
Yeah.
can play the game in 10 minutes. But oh yeah, it plays 2 to 6 in 15 minutes, and for ages 5 and up.
Hmm.
So that could be cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my last one is again one of my favorites. I should say, for a long time running, probably my favorite Christmas tale, Christmas story of all, and that's the original "How the Grinch Stole Christmas." Of the original cartoon based on the book. Another just totally nostalgic thing for me. I loved watching that every year. As a teacher later in life, I loved reading that book to my students every year. Really looked forward to that one. And this is another little card game from Funko. And this one is specifically called The Grinch Grow Your Heart. All right, so just cards here. I was impressed though. I thought it was going to be like kind of a matching, real simple set collection thing. And there's a little bit of that. But basically, you're going to be getting a hand of up to 5 cards by the end of the round. And you're just trying to score in one particular area. So there's 4 different, suits in the game, 4 different colors. So one of the things you can score is, your total number of blue cards, all your present cards that you have. You just add up all the value, and that's your score for that round. You do the same thing if you want to choose the ornaments, or the yellow ones are called noise, and then the green ones are wreaths. So when you're done with your hand, you can be like, I'm scoring wreaths. The catch is that once you score something, you're not going to score that for the other rounds in the game. So if you score wreaths in the first round, the wreaths are not going to do it for you anymore. However, besides those just suits, there's also a couple of other ways to score points, and that is you can get a run, so numbers in order, and depending on how long that run is, you'll get points for that. And then there's also getting 3 or 4 or 5 of the same number will give you points as well. And finally, there's a rainbow, which basically is having one of each suit. You add up the highest value of each suit that you have, and that's how many points you have. So I like it because there's different ways to score, and you know who has scored what. So as the rounds go on, your opponent, say, has already scored the rainbow one or has already scored the matching one. It might kind of depend, and sorry, it might kind of influence the way that you discard, in later rounds. Because essentially, you're just going to draw 2 cards. Someone's going to be the Grinch character. And the only thing that changes is that if you're the Grinch, you are allowed to draw from discard piles in addition to the regular draw pile.
Hmm.
That's important because in this game, everyone has their own personal discard pile. So let's say you're playing with 4 people and you're the Grinch that round. You have 3 different people's discard piles to choose from, or right from the draw. So that's kind of cool. And the only other thing that changes here is, as you can see, the 3, 4, and 5. That's your hand limit. Each time you get a new set of cards, 2 more cards, you get discard down to 3, then discard down to 4, finally 5, and that's when you score when you have your final 5 cards. I really enjoyed this game a lot more than I thought I was going to, and it's at the last minute why I called an audible and switched this out for what was now my honorable mention in the Nightmare Before Christmas game, because I definitely like this one a lot more.
Nice. Now, does this play with two?
Yes, I did play it with 2. Again, to your point, kind of like what you said about the previous game, it's probably not the best with 2, but it certainly worked with
Right.
2. Because in a 2-player game, each player is going to be the Grinch 3 times. So you have 3 opportunities to draw from discards versus the draw pile.
Right.
But with multiple players, I think it would be even more interesting because you're going to have more choices when it's your turn to be Grinch.
All right. Trivia question time.
Trivia questions. Wrap it up.
In what movie does a mother say, and by filling them full of fairy tales, they grow up considering life a fantasy instead of reality?
Ooh. Can you say that one more time?
And by filling them full of fairy tales, they grow up considering life a fantasy instead of reality.
It's a movie?
Hmm.
I don't think I know that. The Year Without a Santa Claus.
Miracle on 34th.
That makes sense.
All right. Let's see. What movie has Chris Kringle explain Christmas isn't just a day, it's a frame of mind, and that's what's been changing?
The Santa Claus.
Miracle on 34th.
Oh, come on.
What is the traditional flavor of a candy cane?
Peppermint.
That is correct. Complete the Bart Simpson quote.
Oh.
Aren't we forgetting the true meaning of Christmas? You know, the birth blank
Of Jesus?
of Santa.
Oh.
All right, a couple more. Who was the first U.S. president to place a Christmas tree in the White House? Taft, Pierce, or Harrison?
Taft.
It was Franklin Pierce.
Oh, fascinating.
Okay, let's see. This is the last one. What did Santa Claus ask Rudolph to do in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Guide his sleigh.
That is correct.
Mm.
All right, so we'll get a few more of these, just a couple more in our next video. But I think that's going to be it for this one. What do you think?
I think so. Short games, short video. Hope you guys are enjoying this. And as per usual, we'd love to hear comments. Maybe there's some other Christmas IP games
Oh,
that we
there's
didn't
definitely going to be
mention.
a lot.
Well, yeah, but I want to hear why you like
I
them.
want to hear which ones are good, which ones we should get. Oh, look, we got our IP shirt. We didn't do this on purpose. This was not planned, but we both wore Christmas Chewbacca shirts. So, intellectual properties.
There you go. All right, folks, that's it for this one. We'll see you next time. Eric, anything else you want to add?
Happy holidays.
Good one. Bye.